Cornering, it's probably the #1 cause of crashing on a mountain bike. It can completely rob you of confidence if you don't feel good in the turns. So let's try and master it and tick off a list of ways you might be going wrong. Number 1, where is your weight? Now you can do this from feel, but a much better way of doing it is to use video to analyse your riding, so you might need help from a friend here. Take a look in slow motion. Are you hanging off the back of the bike, or does your weight look like it's nicely planted in the middle, giving equal weight to both wheels? Also, take a look at your suspension. You want it to be nice and balanced and not sunk in too far, especially if it's a flat, smooth corner. This is the main reason for falling off in corners, I think. It's because your weight's not in the right position. So either forward to back on the bike, you're not balancing the tyres equally, or you might be hanging off the inside of the bike. And hanging off the inside of the bike is not a stable place to be. Number 2, looking ahead and round the corners. So whilst you're checking out your video and you're looking at your riding style and what you're exactly doing on the bike, take a look at actually which direction your head's pointing in. There's a lot of things to think about when you're cornering. So the terrain, the amount of grip you've got, where you need to be braking, your body position. So it's easy to forget to look around the corners, but it is the biggest thing and it really, really works. Just look at where you want to be going. Number 3, overshooting or running wide on corners can be a really frustrating thing that happens. And it's normally down to a few reasons. The first one, again, is going back to your head. So looking around the corners, making sure you hit that exit point. And that's especially important when you're trying to link corners together. So if you run a bit wide on one, you're probably going to mess up the next one as well. The second main reason for this happening is hitting the brakes when you're cornering. That will stand the bike up ever so slightly. You might even slide a little bit and you're much more likely to then run wide. So try and do your braking before the corner, let off and get into that line. For the ultimate confidence in cornering, learn how to drift and move the bike around. It's a great feeling. It's not always the fastest. Actually, going slower and keeping grip is probably faster. But when it comes to learning how your body weight affects the bike and learning that you can drift with 2 wheels at the same time, that kind of shows your weight is in a good position on the bike. To learn how to drift nicely, I would say find yourself a big wide open corner. This one actually works really well, so it's got some loose leaves on top of it. I'll come in quite quick and I'll drag the back brake a little bit just to get the bike moving, or the rear end moving out slightly at least. And I'm really dipping the bike over. Also, flat pedals is a great way of learning this, so I can actually hang my foot off nice and safely, or at least dab it if I have to super quick. Uphill switchbacks aren't a dangerous place to fall off, but again, they can be one of those really frustrating things to try and nail. Just trying to keep your wheels rolling and not lose your balance. The biggest tip I'll give you is try to edge your weight to the outside. On this corner here, I'm going to try and stay sat down, so I need to keep consistent power to keep that rear wheel drive in. And all I'm going to do is edge to the outside of my saddle. Another good tip for this is to use your rear brake almost like a clutch on a motorbike. So you're trying to meter your power, because you want to keep the power going through the pedals, because if you stop, you might lose your speed and not get it going again. So put loads of power through and just back it off by using the brake. If you feel like you're going to maybe spin up the rear tyre or go too wide, use your rear brake to stop you doing that. Your front brake is going to make you lose balance. One final thing for building confidence in corners is actually learning to muscle the bike around. So here I've got loads of grip, loads of support, and this really works where you're going fast and your bike actually wants to stay in a straight line. Sometimes you really have to get off the inside of the bike to turn that bike hard. So again, it's not a stable place to be, but sometimes you need to do it to get that bike cornering. Just remember, you can't hang off the inside for very long. And if you're hanging off the inside and you slide out, there's a good chance you're not going to be able to save it. So hopefully there's a few points there that are going to help you with your cornering. A big thing really is to practice in dry, grippy conditions, except for the drift where you'll need to be a little bit slippy. But if you practice and get confidence in the dry, in the grip, it's really going to help you out when you do get to those slippy conditions. If you want to see another video that goes into the even smaller details of how to corner, click up there for how to counter steer. And for a pure shred it, me versus Blake, speed versus style, click down there. Give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button.